So I also went back into the jungle again to shoot a documentary, to help shoot a documentary. That was down into Valpes, and we went to some beautiful locations. And we also managed to get to a waterfall that we'd seen from the air, and that took us a few days to get in there. And that was incredible too, going through the jungle where no one really goes. We had to descend down into this massive gorge that had been funneled out by this river, I suppose, that was powering the waterfall as well. We made it to the waterfall and let out cries and stuff after a few days, and that was just an amazing experience. And then we came out and we had to cross rivers at night and stuff, things that I wouldn't do by myself, but we were with the indigenous people, so they're comfortable crossing rivers all the time like that. So we did that, and we smoked fish and stuff. They caught fish. They caught 35 fish within 15 minutes or something, because there was just no one who'd ever fished on that river. And those kinds of experiences again. And then I went back to Japan, and I stayed up in Nikko, where they've got a lot of shrines up there and stuff, but I was just in another valley and full of these huge forests, and just incredible as well to spend some time up there. And I would ride up this hill 20 kilometres a day on a one-speed bike, do that as exercise, drink some water from a waterfall, and then come back down. And then I went back to Tokyo after that. So from 2022 until now, I did a lot of, because I was still following this thing of trying to be in cities and stuff, trying to be more social and things. So I wasn't doing these huge walks and things like that, because I'd already done those huge, grueling things. And I felt like, yeah, that was enough with the Shikoku pilgrimage, the southwest in Tasmania, and walking around Christmas Island in Kiribati as well. The 120k walk I did through the desert environment. So I felt like I didn't need to suffer in that way anymore, because I'd learnt those lessons, and I was completely fearless in any conditions, and I could walk for as long as I needed to walk and all that kind of stuff. So the work that I needed to do was still in the cities and around people and communicating. And to this day, I feel like I still need to do more work on that. But between 2022 and now, then I was in Panama, living in Panama and El Salvador, walked up a volcano there as well, and went with friends to another canyon and stuff too there. And I finally completed my journey up the Amazon River, because I went from Belém to Manaus before. This time I lived in Manaus for a couple of months and shot a movie with a French friend there, and that was amazing to do that. Just capturing a little moment in time as well, because we shot on location at all these original buildings, old buildings and stuff. But anyway, I took off from Manaus up to Leticia, back here in Colombia, another 3,000 kilometres. So that whole chunk of the Amazon, been right up it. And I've been close to the source as well on the Peruvian side too. I'm just missing out the other section there, but through Peru. But I feel like I don't even need to do that. I mean, it's not necessary to check every box and things. So again, if it really, really means something to you, then yes, do it. But another dream as well that I had was to go up the Rio Magdalena, which is about a 1,500 kilometre long river in Colombia, and it divides all of Colombia. Without it, Colombia wouldn't exist, because they used to use it to get to the interior, and it feeds everyone. You know, the water from that feeds everyone in the country, really. Or it would exist as a different place, Colombia, if somehow the river didn't exist. But I spent about a month going up that. I went to where it comes out in Barranquilla, close to here, in the ocean. You can see it coming out. I started to go up, and it took me about a month to go up there. And in the end, you end up in a place called San Agustin. And I walked for about 3 days to get to the source. And at first, I crossed the mountains where the source is. I think it was about 3,400 metres, something like that, 3,600 metres. I crossed into another department and stayed there. And then I had to come back. So this was a time when I had to double back on a track. On the way back, then I was looking for the lagoon, the birthplace of the Rio Magdalena. And then out of the mist, it just appeared. I checked my compass, and then it just appeared. And so I drank some water out of it because I didn't think you were even supposed to be able to get to it, because on maps and footage that I'd seen there were lots of frailejones, and they're quite dangerous too because they absorb a lot of water, and it can be quite deep around them as well. You can fall in into the root system and stuff, and it can be meters deep as well. So I just didn't think there was a way to even get close to the lagoon, but I found it, had a little drink of water, and then I kept on going and made my way back down. And so that was another journey that was complete. And there aren't too many more that, you know, I feel like, I really need to do. I've done those journeys, and it's just in society and stuff, with relations and stuff and communication and everything, connecting those worlds. That's more what I want to work on. And I spent time in Rio de Janeiro as well. I spent about a year in Brazil all up. Went to Carnival again for the second time, and I was going to go back a few months ago, but I stayed here, and I'm going to go again soon, I think. So I know Rio de Janeiro is in my head. Well, Ipanema and Leblon, I went up and down them every day running, and around the lagoon as well, over the back, and eating açaí every day and Brazilian food. So Rio de Janeiro itself is in my head. I have it in my head. When I see images, then I know exactly where they are, because I've been over that land so many times. I went to visit a friend of a friend in Campo Grande, more in the interior, in the Mato Grosso del Sur, they call it. So down closer to Iguazu Falls and stuff. And then after that I went to Manaus for 2 months on that trip, but I went back again and stayed in a favela for 3 months as well in Vidigal, which is, if you've seen images of Rio, there's two mountains, or twin peaks, and it's below those twin peaks. You can see it in photos a lot, but I was there for 3 months, so connected to that too, and I walked up and down every single day for 3 months, so 100 times or something like that. So I saying hi to the people and everything there. So that was another experience, and in, you know, around people again, which is what I'm trying to do. Even though it feels like I'm not making much progress, I still feel like I want to run away to nature. I'm still trying to connect and to do these things. And then we come up to really today, and I went to see friends in Thailand and Japan again, in different places, back to Australia as well. I crossed the mountain in the snow, and all those things, just going back to places now. And that's why I'm back here and continuing this journey after that start point of 27 years ago now. This journey continues. I don't know where it's going to take me. I hope it takes me to something bigger and deeper, and that there's more love and beauty in my life.